Hey, how's it going? This is Bobby Whitford here, and I am just going to start doing these videos to help make your workload a bit easier for the phys ed homework that we have been doing. So basically, what we're going to do is instead of you guys doing the research and looking up the answers to the topics, I am going to talk about them on video, and then you guys are going to answer the worksheet questions related to that topic. This is going to be what we do for the next 5 research topics, and then after that, you're all done. You don't have to do any more for phys ed. If you would like to, you can feel free to research the answers if you don't want to watch this video, but you just need to make sure that you're answering all the questions on the worksheets to make sure that you're getting your full grades for each individual research topic. So with that being said, let's get into the first topic. And our first topic today is the risks of lifestyle, a healthy versus unhealthy heart. So for this research topic, there's a bit of terminology we have to define before we are able to proceed. And the first term that you guys need to know is what the word sedentary is. So sedentary is defined as too much seated time and not enough or little physical activity. Now, what does a sedentary lifestyle have to do with your heart? So a sedentary lifestyle can negatively affect the heart in many different ways. A couple quick things that come to mind are people who are more sedentary have increased risk of high blood pressure. They also have higher risk of cholesterol buildup. And basically what cholesterol buildup is when you're eating foods with high cholesterols that are bad. There's a good and bad type of cholesterol, but when you have the high bad types of cholesterol, it clogs up your arteries, which then has the potential to harm you in terms of it can elevate your blood pressure, or it can leave you at an increased risk of heart attack and stroke. So sedentary activity is not good fit for people who want to make sure that they are being safe. How does an active lifestyle affect the heart? Well, as you might have guessed, the more active that you are is going to help positively increase your heart's health. So people who are more active will generally have healthier hearts, and these are some typical things that they will have. So exercise can help lower blood pressure. Exercise can make your heart more efficient, meaning it doesn't have to do as much work to achieve the same task. So what that would look like is your heart doesn't have to beat as many times to pump blood through the entire body. So a more efficient heart doesn't have to work as hard, meaning it can pump and then the blood will travel quickly and through the entire body without needing as many pumps as maybe somebody who's more sedentary in their lifestyle. An active lifestyle also helps your heart health because it can help you reduce stress. And as you may or may not know, stress can negatively affect the heart, and stress also increases people's chances of heart attack or strokes. Having an active lifestyle also helps reduce weight. So weight loss is good for a healthy heart because it reduces the stress on the body and it reduces high blood pressure. So not everybody who's overweight is going to have high blood pressure, but it does mean that people who are more active just give their heart a better chance of being healthier. And all of those things combined, the blood pressure, the heart's ability to pump better, the reduction of stress and weight loss, all of those things do a great deal of good for helping reduce the chances of heart attack or stroke. Now we're going to talk about what you can do to help increase your heart health. So a couple lifestyle changes that you could make to help increase your heart health are by just being more active or getting more physical activity in a day. So that could be deciding to go and start lifting weights and do resistance training in a gym. It can be playing sports. It can be dancing. It can be yoga. It can be rock climbing. It can be swimming. It can be literally anything that you like, as long as it's something that gets your heart pumping. So the more movement throughout the day is better as well. So there's a couple little tips that you guys can do just to make sure that you're getting more movement in the day, which is also going to help your heart. One thing you can do is maybe especially right now when you're sitting at home all day, every half hour or an hour, just get up and walk around. Get up and walk to one end of the house and back. Just that little bit of getting up and moving is going to do your heart a lot better than being sedentary on the couch. Another thing you could do, buying standing desks. And when people have a standing desk, then they're up on their feet, they're moving a bit more, their heart is then getting exercise, and you are more likely to help build a healthier heart that way. And then another couple things you can do, just easy little tips. When you go to the grocery store, maybe suggest to your parents to park further away. You don't have to be the first spot right next to Walmart. You can be at the very end of the parking lot. Something, a little change like that, now you're walking from one end of the parking lot all the way to Walmart and then back, right? So it just helps you get a few more steps in that way. And another little tip you guys can do is take the stairs, right? So don't need you to walk up the stairs of the Calgary Tower, but just making sure that if you are able to, take the stairs up even 2-3 floors rather than take the elevator, then do that. That's going to help your heart, and it's going to help get you moving, and all of those things are great for your heart health. And then here are a couple nutritional changes that can be made to help improve people's heart health. So the first couple things are just things to avoid. So as I'm sure you guys have probably heard before, that you guys should probably limit how much fast food you're eating. Fast food has a lot of preservatives, and they're cooked in a lot of bad fats that are known to clog up arteries. So if you limit your fast foods, then you are also helping your body by not putting your heart at greater risk. Another thing you could do is to limit the amount of salt that you put on your food. So salt has been known to also help raise blood pressure. So if you are going to use salt, don't put a lot on. And if there are foods that you don't need it on, then just don't have it. You don't necessarily need to salt your broccoli before you eat it. So maybe just making sure that with specific foods, you're just choosing not to have salt. Another thing you could do is to use less butter and margarine while cooking, or just not use margarine and butter at all, because those two are also filled with a lot of bad fats that are going to eventually clog people's arteries. So just making sure that you don't use those is going to help out quite a bit. And then another thing you could do is to make sure that you're eating lean meats. And by lean meats, I mean meats that are not really fatty. And if that's not possible, then just making sure that you're not eating the fat off of certain types of foods, right? So not eating the fat off a steak, cutting it off and throwing it away rather than chewing that up and eating it, because that can also clog arteries. And then when you can, try to eat whole foods. So whole foods are things that are just kind of one ingredient. So that could be something like a fruit or a vegetable, or any other foods that have less than 3 ingredients, because if it has a bunch of different ingredients on it, then you know that it's really heavily processed, and it's probably not even really food at that point. So the more whole foods that you have in your diet is going to be a lot better for your own heart health.
So to give you a bit of an example, so for whole foods, here is a can of chickpeas. And as you can see, the ingredients are chickpeas, water, salt, but as you can see, there are not many ingredients. Vegetables are okay to eat out of a can, and I would suggest having more whole foods like this. And things that you can avoid, and I'm not saying you can't eat these all like ever again, but just try to avoid having these very often, are frozen things like this. So for example, this frozen pizza, look at the ingredients list. I'm not even going to count how many different ingredients there are, because I'll be here all day. But as you can see, one has very limited ingredients, which is more of a whole food, and the other is an entire list of everything in it that you probably, if you can avoid, would probably be better for you.
Thank you for watching that, and be ready for the next video coming up later.